We're going to be using an off-the-shelf pie crust today. I'm just trying to show you how easy this is to do, yet you aren't going to believe the results. Today we're going to be making a beef, onion, and green pepper pie. And we're going to start out, we're going to take our crust. Now these have already been par cooked, which means that they've been in the oven, but yet at the same time they've still got some life to them. We're going to add just enough sauce to cover the top. You don't want your sauce too thick. Have you ever bitten into a pizza and it was kind of mushy inside? Well, that was because it had an excess quantity of sauce. That sauce bleeds down into the pie itself, or the dough itself, and it makes the dough kind of soggy. So you just want to cover it one time, kind of paint it on, really. This is one of those things that if you experiment around with, you're going to find a happy medium. But I don't know about you, I kind of like my crust to be crisp, more like a cracker. So I'm using a thin crust, and like I say, you got to watch overloading it with sauce. Paint your crust all the way out to the edges. Be careful not to go over the edge. Okay. This is what it's going to look like. Oh, by the way, it's nice to have a little pizza peel if you're going to do this on a regular basis. Now we've got the sauce on. The next ingredient should be the beef. I like my beef or all my ingredients really, in underneath the cheese. I like the cheese to be able to melt and go over everything. But here we're going to take and we're going to sprinkle this generously over this pie. You know how a lot of commercial joints, there may be a bite of meat in this bite, and the next one there won't be any meat. It's just a cheese pizza, which, I don't know about you, but if I'm not getting any ingredient, I'm not enjoying the pizza. So our pie is going to have ingredient in every mouthful. Every morsel of this pie, you're going to be able to taste all the ingredients. And that's when you're really going to enjoy your pizza. I know you think you've had a good pizza before, but wait till you try this. My family's been making this pie since back in the late 1960s, all up and down the front range of the Rocky Mountains. If you ever attended college in Colorado or Wyoming, chances are you might have eaten one of these pies. So, when you try this, you're going to know where it's coming from, and you're going to think, wow, man, I can't believe I can get this anywhere in the world. Okay, we've generously covered the crust with our beef. Now we're going to come back and we're going to sprinkle on some onion and some green pepper. Now the man that taught me how to build these expressed the importance of sprinkling them around so that there's a mouthful of every ingredient in every bite of the pie. And that's the difference between this and any other commercial pie you're going to buy. If you can't taste the ingredient, I mean, hell, we all could be having cheese sandwiches for lunch. That's what a lot of these commercial pies remind me of. They're nothing more than an elaborate cheese sandwich. Okay, we're going to come back now with our green pepper in the same way. You want to have that taste in every mouthful of the pie. I've got these diced up into about 1/4 inch squares, 3/8 of an inch squares. I'm going to generously sprinkle them around. This is where the big payoff comes. I know you put in a lot of work right now getting your pie ready, doing all the ingredients and everything, but the thing is, all these ingredients will store in the refrigerator. I usually make up a batch and just let them set around and for up to maybe a week. I wouldn't take it any further than that, but you can make up ingredients, have them setting around. You can whip a pie together in just a few minutes, pop it in the oven, and you're going to enjoy some really good dining. You're not going to believe this pie, guys. Now you can add whatever ingredients you want. To me, this happens to be my favorite. Beef, onion, and green pepper. Okay, we've got the beef, the onion, and the green pepper, and you notice how it doesn't matter where you bite into this pie, you're going to taste all that ingredient. Plus the base of the pie, the sauce, okay? That's going to be in every mouthful. Now it's cheese time. When it comes to cheese, a lot of people think, you know, well, give me double cheese or whatever. Well, plain mozzarella is a very bland product, okay? So what I've done, I've got about 3 different kinds of cheeses here. I've got just a plain mozzarella, I've got a pizza blend, and I've got an Italian blend. But what it's going to do, it's going to put about 7 different varieties of cheese on my pie. The mozzarella by itself, which most commercial pizza houses use, is a totally bland and tasteless product. I mean, it's more or less just for looks. So we're going to just do a light sprinkling around here with some mozzarella. Very, very light. And then we're going to come back with this. This is 5 different cheeses, and it's a regular pizza blend. Buy this anywhere. Also, what you're accomplishing here is you're building kind of a connoisseur pie, in that it's not going to have just the bare amount of ingredients on it. This thing is going to be a meal. One little old pizza here is going to be a meal for several people. Okay, now I'm going to go to a 3rd bag, which is an Italian blend. I'm just going to put a few more varieties of cheese on here. And that's going to really add to the flavor of this. Now, like I said, you can put any ingredients you want on your pie. Some people like tuna, some people like pineapple or whatever, but you're going to find that this is one of the tastiest pies that you've ever had. And try this particular recipe first, and then expand from there and see what happens. Because there's certain things, you know, after being in the business for years, there's certain things that I would not put on a pizza, but I know everybody's tastes are different. We're going to cook this up, and we're going to put it in a 400-degree oven. And the real tell on pizza when you're cooking it is to watch the cheese. As the cheese is cooking, once it starts to melt, as it starts to darken in color and blister, you're getting done, okay? The beef has already been cooked prior to this, so you don't have to worry about it being undercooked on the pie. If your crust isn't crispy enough, what you might try doing is putting your crust in ahead of the pizza. Cook it for a few minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, pull it out, then build your pie on top of that, and that'll help add to the crispiness of the crust. That's if you're using an off-the-shelf crust. There's a whole lot of different tricks to this, but the main thing you got to keep in mind is that there's a lot of things you can do that'll ruin a pizza. Moisture is one of the worst, grease is the second worst, okay? So if you're using a meat product such as sausage or beef or whatever, it's best if it's pre-cooked. Now you have to check into another video that we've got, and it's going to show you how to do the sausage recipe, an Italian sausage recipe. Right now this is just the basics, and I'm telling you guys this is going to be the best pie you've ever eaten. So let's try this. I'm going to pop this in the oven, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm putting it in a 400-degree oven. It should take 10 to 15 minutes to cook. Okay, you're going to have to experiment around with that because everybody's oven is different. But at the same time, keep an eye on the cheese. The color of the cheese and the blistering effect that happens with the cheese that's the indicator when the pie is done. So for the moment, I'm going to drop this in the oven, and we're going to wait and see what the results are.